what can you say about the hot mic moment between JD Vance and
By the way, I think the speech is going to be great, but I don't know how you do this for 90 minutes.
Speaker? That was funny. I was watching it. That was actually one of the moments that people were entertained about. Mike Johnson, did you watch that?
I missed that part. I was getting interrupted. I only got to watch the tail end.
Oh.
Then I went back and I read the transcript which is probably, I was told you should have just watched it live because it was like watching it unfold. It was different because of the build up, the setup, the story arc was there that you don't receive on the transcript. So tell me about it.
It was funny because before it started, because JD Vance and then Mike Johnson,
Yeah.
they have to be there in front.
Babe.
And then JD Vance, they had a short banter about wearing the same tie or something. It was a very light moment, very refreshing actually. And then they started talking about, like, JD was going, I don't know how you do it, like, you're gonna stay there in front and you cannot fall asleep.
Yeah. I never saw that.
And then he said, Mike Johnson said, like, oh no, and then JD Vance said, I think it's gonna be amazing, because I don't think he knew about what Trump was gonna say, but Mike Johnson was like, well, this is going to be much better than during the time of Biden, because
That was on the hot mic?
Yeah, that was on the hot mic. Like, they tried, but, like, we can hear you.
The hardest thing was doing it during Biden, when the speech was a stupid campaign speech.
And then he said something like, with Biden, it's just like a campaign speech or something. It's not really the State of the Union. And then I'm trying to look back. Well, yeah, that's right. It's all we're good, but not like, these are the many people that are dying because of my policies.
Yeah.
It was all denial of the fact. It was all like selling the programs more, the policies more, when in reality, people, like the people in Aurora, Colorado, they're being taken over by these gangs and taking over the apartments and terrorizing them. And then you're gonna say, oh, it's actually very safe. These are all Trump narratives that he's trying to sell to us. And it's just it's so disconnected.
Because Trump says what people see with their own eyes, right? So it's like, it's very refreshing for people to say, yeah, exactly. Finally, somebody said it. Because we're so used to the doublespeak. We're so used to all of this vagueness and political jargon that's normally just washed into it. It becomes just this, you can listen to a 1 hour speech and learn absolutely nothing. Like, what did he actually say? Nothing. With Trump, oh my God, you're just like, wait, stop, pause. He's on to another point.
An economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare.
Because he just hammers it, but he hammers it in a way where it's what people really see and relate to. So it's not going contrary to, like, every time, sometimes you listen to a seasoned politician, the words sound nice, there's a melody to it sometimes, but it's all benign, it's all just generically, towards the end you're going, yeah, but nothing. Whereas with Trump, it's literally, I'm getting men out of women's sports. It's tapos ang boxing. We doesn't need much of an explanation. So yeah, people relate to that. With the rest of what he did, I was just a bit surprised that the Democrats didn't have a better plan. Because if they just took off the hatred, the TDS, they could have strategized this a whole lot better. Is just my point.
Yeah. But the thing is, you have to be on the same springboard. You have to be in the same reality first before you can try to change it and pivot it to fit your narrative. But if your starting point is none of what he's gonna say is true, then you're disconnected.
Yes. Okay. This is another thing that I was thinking of before we're just chatting off air, that I think they've hit a point of desperation, because it's not just that they've lost the election. I think that they're what's terrifying massively, because they did lose election before, and then they came back, and this time it's different because aside from losing the election, the blueprint of the corruption has been laid out. So even if they win an election again, that we're wise to it. It's like the magician, we've seen the trick already. So we've gone backstage, seen what's behind the curtain. You can't shock us again, right? You can't dupe us again. So I think this is why they're completely like desperate, because I think that they have been able to operate in this subsidized bubble that has been created for them, and it's been funded, and it's also been reinforced by some pretty powerful pillars in government. So this is their reality, but I think they know deep down inside, I can't survive in the real world outside this. The free market, my ideas would never survive. Outside of this bubble, I'm dead. So this is why we're seeing such a desperation. It's almost like the scorched earth strategy. It's like, because otherwise they would have a better plan, I would think.
I think the plan was and has always been that we control the media anyway.
That was their safety, right?
That was the safety.
Until they realized they don't.
But until they realized, wait, social media is fact-checking us.
Yeah.
Social media has overtaken us.
And our smear campaigns are getting less and less effective.
Yeah.
Because did you see Nancy Pelosi actually explain there was a term for it. It used the word smear, but it was a post-smear campaign. She literally spelled it out. I think it was PBD podcast where I saw it. It was amazing. It was shocking because she actually gave you the blueprint of what they do. She said, so what we do is we have a post-smear campaign, and then we say these words enough times, and then this is exactly what happens, and then this and this.
This
and then,
is on a
and then the media will
podcast?
validate it. Yeah. We got to dig up that.
I'm going to look it up.
It is like, you didn't just say that like aloud, like you just literally gave the blueprint
This
away.
is on PBD.
I believe it's on one of the PBD.
Wait. She actually went on PBD?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
so they discussed
They
it
discussed
there.
it. Sorry. I
Okay,
could
so
see
let
the
me.
smile was like,
I was
she
like,
went on PBD.
No, that did not happen. Okay, give me the words. Nancy Pelosi.
And AOC went on Rogan.
I know.
And then
like really.
there were
So
some pigs flying
we
around,
were
and then hell froze
we were
over.
on the moon then. Okay, wait. I just want to make sure I hear this. Okay, so this is your video.
I mean, I don't even
I'm sorry,
know.
because
I don't even know if it's in context or not. So I mean, I just heard the video.
No. I found it,
Okay.
but I tried to be fair.
Yeah, well,
to represent the other side. So I am gonna be watching this from the ABC platform.
Okay.
'Cause,
Yeah,
well,
that's
they got me at it says, is it true or false?
perfect.
Okay, let's see.
In tonight's Fact or Fiction, we're answering another viewer question. Chris Brown from Oceanside wants to know if a video of Nancy Pelosi discussing a tactic called wrap-up smear is real. Here's the clip.
The wrap
You
up
smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it. And then you write it, and they'll say, see, it's reported in the press that this, and this. So they have that validation that the press reported.
Some websites are sending around this video as proof the Democrats made up the assault allegations against Brett Kavanaugh. That is fiction. The video, while real, actually shows Pelosi last year accusing Republicans of using wrap-up smears. She was not saying that it's a go-to strategy for Democrats.
Okay.
Okay, so it's real,
Okay.
but the context is she was explaining that this is what the other side does, not what we do.
Okay, so I've been in politics for years. You're probably, I would say you're still in politics because you're in media. So, we try to understand how things are really happening. And the insights that we have is very much different from those who have not had an experience in media and in politics, and they're just watching this from the screens or consuming the news from different platforms. We both know that much of what we see on TV, much of what we read on the papers, these are releases from, say, a company. These are PR pieces from the politicians themselves. Especially if the news is about someone or a company. This happens. what she described is pretty much that same process. Although she's claiming she's claiming that this is a tactic being employed by the Republicans. The fact that
You know the playbook.
the playbook,
You memorize the playbook. You shared it off the top
what's
of your
what's
hand.
to stop you
Exactly.
from doing the same thing? And the problem with what she said there is that when has media been friendly with Trump?
Yeah, that tells you pretty much everything you need to know. Well, there's some.
There
like
are some,
Fox, yeah.
but there's also a reason why in this campaign, specifically in this campaign, he did not do TV interviews.
But what was the divide? There was a number, I remember, of positive, negative news for Trump. Like, if you're going to divide who owns media, what share. Do you remember there was a number?
I think it was
It's much
overwhelming.
higher. It's overwhelming.
Overwhelming. That's
Yeah.
what
I
there's
just forget the exact number.
Yeah, I think it was like 80-20 even.
Okay, so if it's let's say 80-20, that's not really the best strategy to use if you're on the 20% side.
Yes.
Because you have to now go up against 80% of media that's against you.
I was gonna call you out on
Yes.
the lie.
Exactly. But again, I think more to your point, the fact that you know the strategy, you're aware of the strategy, but you're saying, well, I would never use that strategy. I'm saying what they use on us, but then we see the actual result is the side on conservatives
Yeah.
and Republicans. They're basically, nobody's been more, I guess, ganged up on than Trump. And
In any history,
nobody's been,
in the
I
history
guess,
of the
had
US, I
less
think.
hard questions than Joe.
I
so
know.
it's, you're seeing
And there's also a reason why he specifically for this campaign, he chose to go on podcasts. And
Yeah.
that's why for the White House media, he included the non-traditional media
Yeah.
people there because of that divide.
Yes, it's like fool me once,
Yeah.
fool me
Yeah,
twice,
yeah.
right? So now he's in the fool me twice part. He's now not going to be fooled twice.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, he's opened it up, and now all of a sudden, now it's starting to collapse and crumble
Mm-hmm.
because people see it. They've seen it to a certain degree. A lot of people have felt this on their own, right?
Yes.
During COVID, when your voice went against the narrative, and you were just some small Joe Blow, and you were a private citizen just saying what you saw, and all of a sudden you were blocked, you were canceled, you were censored, and stuff like that. Then it's like, okay, I see how effective that strategy is.
Okay, now let's finally go to the speech. He actually said a lot of things, and I think this is
1
one
hour
of the
40.
the longest.
The longest since
One
I
of the
think
longest.
1960
Yeah.
something, 64 or
It
something
was
like that.
well, you did not watch the whole thing.
I didn't. Geez, I mean it's longer than the Oscars, but more
No, the
entertaining.
Oscars was like 3 hours.
But more entertaining.
More entertaining.
Less woke.
Okay, so the build up to this, remember he said something like, "Oh, it's gonna be big. It's gonna be like he had was it like a tweet before this, and he said, "Oh, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be huge
Nobody's
or
ever gonna
something."
seen anything like it.
Nothing. You've not seen anything
Never.
like this ever in the history. But no, actually, I was he's a businessman. He sells products. He sells services, and he tries to convince people, hey. These are good products. These are good services that you have to buy.
The gold card, which goes on sale very, very soon, for $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the green card, but better and more sophisticated.
And I think he did a very good job at doing that. And I say that because these are all the things that he promised during the campaign. These are things that he acted on through a lot of executive orders.
Is it 400 or something? Did I get that
I
right?
think it was like 400. And these are not all publicized. Because, we only
Yeah,
pick
we
out
only see the ones that,
the ones
ceremonial
that,
signings.
Yes, and the huge issues.
Yeah.
But so far he's been very consistent. And whether or not you agree with what he's saying or with what he's done so far, I think he's so far been delivering on the promise of America first.
America is back.